G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of August 2018, and the time here is 08:45 AS Australian Eastern Standard Time. Folks, plenty of interest in the comments yesterday as regards to superannuation, money, mortgages. So I just want to focus on two things at the moment. Just superannuation, because it's such a big thing. Lots of people said to me, well, how do we get our money out? And it's not easy. I have first-hand experience of this because when I got injured, I had to use all my superannuation to fight in court to get some usual superannuation, insurance coverage, blah blah blah. So I have first-hand knowledge of just how ruthless these people are. Having said that, I don't have any superannuation anymore. I had to use the whole lot to keep us going while I was fighting my court case for getting injured. The usual bullshit. What I found out of that though was a couple of things. One, they are complete lying scumbag, toe rag, shit of the earth, no good. They're worse than politicians and car salesmen. And it doesn't matter who you're with. Cbus, the lot. I was with Cbus, and in the words of a famous law firm, they are the worst. So I understand what you're saying. Now, if I could give you, if I was giving you any financial advice, which I'm not, I would highly recommend you do one of two things. One, consolidate your superannuation. And what that means is maybe buy an apartment with it, buy some land. God's not going to make any more land, so it's valuable. And secondly, get your superannuation out of the superannuation funds. Simple as that. They are a parasitic anomaly at best. You can self-manage your funds. You have to go and see a relevant tax agent. Do not go to your bank and ask them to help you with it, because they're only interested in, once again, the parasitic anomaly. Speak around, look up self-managed funds, find some really good reviews for a good taxation consultant on it, and look at their track record over the last couple of years. Don't just, I'm going to go superannuation funds because you're going to lose it all. Use this. You're watching this, so use this. Secondly, I'm going to show you this. Here we go. Now, I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to put the link in the description box. This is from the ABC today. Banking Royal Commission. Super once over scrapes off a truckload of dirt. There are 2.6 trillion in the superannuation accounts of Australians, and nearly 10% of everyone's wage rolls in the door annually. But you try finding out what they're doing with it. They don't even have to tell you what they're doing with it. That's how ridiculous this is. That's actually a law, by the way. The 10 days of Royal Commission hearings were devoted to the sector, even though that was like rubbing a finger on a semi-trailer as it rushed past. Plenty of muck came off. The prospect of criminal charges against NAB and the Commonwealth Bank and Westpac and every single other person who's dealing with these bozos is a very big possibility. Over the way they treated their superannuations is no shock to anyone who dipped into proceedings. You sat in the courtroom throughout the hearings like I did, or if you sat in. The overall impression was that the retail funds use their superannuation accounts as a healthy revenue source clipping the ticket at every chance, i.e. skimming off the top. Industry funds got a touch-up but sailed through in comparison to the searing examination endured by NAB, Colonial First State, which is CBA, Commonwealth Bank, MLC, which is NAB. They're all owned by each other. The trustees are legally obliged to act in the best interest of customers, but the conflict of being part of the bank seemed to blind them. Well, it didn't blind them. They're chopped at the heels by the banks because the trustees are now looking after the shareholders. So look, I'm not going to read it all, but it's interesting to note that after yesterday there was nothing on the Banking Royal Commission, and today there is loads. Sorry guys, I've got a cold. Now, the way this is going, this thing's going to get extended and these people are going to go to jail. That's how bad this is. You remember Malcolm Turnbull? He was the one that didn't want to do this because he's a Goldman Sachs alumni. Oh no, we don't need a Banking Royal Commission. There's nothing wrong. Well, so far they've paid back $10 billion. Every single facet of their working operations is illegal and criminal. So you can see why Turnbull didn't want anyone to do a Banking Royal Commission. Okay, well I'll leave that on superannuations, but my point is, get the hell out of them. Manage your own. Everyone I know who's got a self-managed super fund does a whole lot better than the people who are stuck in the rut. Okay? Second thing, house mortgages. Loads of people, I was going to show everyone the comments, but there's loads of people who said, oh my God, what are we going to do if the house prices tank, etc., etc. Well, look, yesterday there was the best interview ever done on USA Watchdog by Greg Hunter. He interviewed Bill Hunter and Jim Sinclair. Now, both of these two are not people that you would take, their words of advice badly. These guys are the paramount of this stuff going around out there. And their message was, the time is now. Like, it's all over. This is now in the dying throes of rolling over and completely dying. I would strongly urge you all to watch that interview on USA Watchdog. It's an hour-long interview, but geez, I tell you what, I've watched plenty of interviews on USA Watchdog, but that one had me riveted. Listen to what these guys are saying. It's over. There's no more they can do. It's finished. The emerging markets, as I said to you before, are collapsing. And it's interesting, I never watched that video until after I did my video yesterday, and everything I said as an economic hack was exactly what they said. So and the number one thing they said was, get ready. Stop worrying about everything else. Just make sure you got food and water, because this is going to explode soon. Okay? Now, what's going to happen to mortgages? Well, as I said, I and a lot of other people have now fixed their mortgage rates for the next 2 to 3 years. I fixed mine at the lowest possible. I've actually lost 10 grand lately out of doing that. But I actually got it back at the back end. So don't sit there going, oh my God, I'm going to lose 10 grand. You're not. Think about the bigger picture. Think about what you're going to make at the back end. Okay? Secondly, if you are in having problems making your payments, and I'll be open about this, we went to the bank. Said, no point hiding it. We need to restructure our debt. And they went, oh, okay, well, what can you do? Don't run away from the banks if you're in trouble. They should be your first point of contact. But don't overstate the problem. Say you want to work with the problem. Don't ring them up freaking out, because the first thing they're going to do is freak out. Ask for an appointment. Go and see the person in the branch, wherever you are. Talk to them casually. Tell them what, lay out everything out, and they will actually help you to restructure your loan. And once again, it's not about the now, it's about the back end. Okay? Third thing is, when this system that we're currently in does collapse, might be tomorrow, next month, next year, 10 years. They can keep this going for 10 years because that's how pig ignorant everyone is. But eventually you'll just get to the point where it becomes untenable. And as the emerging markets are finding out, it's now untenable. So, this is not going to be like the GFC, folks. You're not going to have people, some people lose their houses, some people won't. You're talking about everyone. Now, because the reason is the whole system's going to collapse. Not just one or two, you're talking about whole banks. The whole thing's just going to go woof, literally down a vortex black hole. My advice, for what it's worth, if it's worth anything at all, is do not leave your home. As I said, go through the things with your bank, sort your bank out, but remember this, and this is hard to do, this is not easy. Ask for a mortgage certificate from your bank. And you might think, oh, that's pretty easy to get. You wait till you ask for one, you try getting one. Because remember, if you're with Commonwealth like I am, they sell on your loan. They don't keep it, they sell it on to 2 or 3 different parties. By the time this was proven in the GFC. 8 companies owned one mortgage. And it worked out that was actually illegal. They shouldn't have been doing that. It's no different here in Australia, folks. But go in and say to them, I want my mortgage certificate, outlining how much I have to pay, how much over the 25 years or whatever it is works out after you've restructured. You're going to find that this isn't going to be easy. You're going to have struggle getting it from the banks because they're not going to give it to you. And by law, they have to give it to you. But try getting one. I still haven't got mine. So I get a from my bank every month, at least every month. Once a month, we get the paperwork sent to us that outlines my debt repayments, etc. to the bank. Okay? Keep that handy. Keep that handy. Because when all this blows up and everything else and all the shifty lending practices are realised, etc., if you're holding that piece of paper, you can take that to court and say, well, I don't know who this bloke is. I was paying the Commonwealth. He doesn't own my mortgage. Look, this paperwork tells me that this is my mortgage is run by the Commonwealth. That's why I'm doing it. Hope that makes sense. All right, I hope that answers the questions. Tomorrow, I'm going to look into a bit more about just how far down the rabbit hole these emerging markets have gone. I'm going to show you the percentages on trading economics. Okay, folks, Bible Gateway. Here, the verse of the day. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. I'll read it again. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. And as always, folks, we'll end with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, folks, I'll leave it there. I'll speak to you tomorrow. God bless.